Good evening and welcome to the Mega News at 6 right here on MBN TV. We are coming to you live from our studios here at Nungwa Greater Estate. My name is Farana Ayele Ayi. Coming up in the major headlines.
Mahama returns from Nairobi after high-stakes Africa Forward Summit. In business, Ghana's economy grows by 7.7% as services sector takes the lead. And on the international front, Trump arrives in Beijing ahead of high-stakes talks with President Xi.
Also, don't forget that we are streaming live on our social media platforms on YouTube and Facebook at MBN 360. Moving on to our first story, President John Dramani Mahama has returned to Ghana following his participation in the high-level Africa Forward Summit in Nairobi, where leaders across the continent convened to discuss economic transformation, regional integration, and Africa's global competitiveness.
President John Dramani Mahama is back in the country after attending the Africa Forward Summit held in Nairobi, Kenya, a gathering that brought together policymakers, business leaders, and development partners from across the continent. During the summit, discussions centered on accelerating Africa's economic recovery, boosting intra-African trade under the African Continental Free Trade Area, and strengthening governance systems to attract sustainable investments. Mr. Mahama, who played an active role in several high-level sessions, emphasized the need for African leaders to adopt bold, forward-looking policies that prioritize job creation, digital innovation, and industrial growth, particularly for the youth. He also highlighted Ghana's strategic position in driving regional economic cooperation and called for stronger partnerships between governments and the private sector to unlock opportunities across key sectors. The Africa Forward Summit comes at a time when many African economies are grappling with inflationary pressures, debt challenges, and rising unemployment, making such engagements critical for shaping the continent's future. Mahama's participation is expected to feed into ongoing national and regional conversations on economic resilience and policy direction.
More than 500,000 senior high school students across Ghana have today begun writing the 2026 West African Senior High School Certificate Examination conducted by the West African Examinations Council.
Over 500,000 candidates from senior high schools nationwide are today sitting for the 2026 WASSCE, marking a critical milestone in their academic journey. The examination, administered by the West African Examinations Council, is being held at various centers across the country under tight supervision to ensure credibility and transparency. Officials say adequate measures have been put in place to prevent examination malpractice, including enhanced monitoring systems and the deployment of invigilators and security personnel to hotspot areas. The candidates, made up of both school and private entrants, will be tested over the coming weeks in core and elective subjects, with performance expected to play a key role in their progression into tertiary institutions. Education authorities have expressed confidence in the preparedness of students following months of academic work and revision, despite concerns in some quarters over challenges such as inadequate learning materials and infrastructure in certain schools. Parents and guardians have also been urged to provide the necessary support to candidates throughout the examination period. The WASSCE remains a major benchmark in Ghana's education system, determining access to universities, colleges, and other higher learning institutions.
Moving on, a suspect in a defilement case has reportedly taken his own life while in police custody, raising serious concerns about detention conditions and duty of care within the Ghana Police Service.
Authorities have launched investigations into the circumstances surrounding the death of a defilement suspect who allegedly committed suicide while being held in police custody. According to preliminary reports, the suspect was in detention awaiting further legal processes when the incident occurred. Officers on duty are said to have discovered the situation during routine checks, but efforts to save him proved unsuccessful. The Ghana Police Service has since initiated an internal probe to establish exactly what happened, including whether standard operating procedures for detainee monitoring were followed. The incident has sparked public concern, with some calling for greater accountability and improved surveillance systems in police cells to prevent similar occurrences. Legal and human rights advocates are also expected to push for a thorough, transparent investigation, stressing that persons in custody remain under the full responsibility of the state. Meanwhile, the body has been deposited at a morgue pending autopsy, while police say further updates will be provided as investigations progress.
Also, the Ghana Hotels Association, GHL, is demanding an immediate apology from the Rent Commissioner following comments it describes as misleading and damaging regarding hostel accommodation pricing.
The Ghana Hostels Association has strongly pushed back against recent remarks made by the Rent Commissioner on hostel and accommodation charges, insisting the comments misrepresent the realities of the hospitality sector. According to the association, the statements have created a false impression that operators are arbitrarily inflating prices, a claim they say undermines the credibility of businesses already grappling with high operational costs. GHL argues that pricing within the sector is influenced by several factors, including rising utility tariff, staff wages, maintenance, and taxes, all of which continue to put pressure on operators. The association is therefore calling on the Rent Commissioner under the Rent Control Department to retract the remarks and issue a public apology to restore confidence in the sector. Industry players warn that such statements, if left unaddressed, could discourage investment and negatively impact Ghana's tourism and hospitality industry. Meanwhile, the Rent Control Department is yet to officially respond to the demand, but sources indicate that engagements between both parties may be initiated to resolve the impasse.
Moving on, Minister for Roads and Highways, Kwame Agboza, says the government's Big Push infrastructure initiative is focused on accelerating national development and should not be reduced to partisan politics.
The Minister for Roads and Highways, Kwame Agboza, has defended the government's Big Push agenda, insisting it is a strategic intervention aimed at transforming Ghana's infrastructure landscape rather than a politically motivated program. Speaking on the initiative, the minister emphasized that the policy is designed to fast-track critical road projects, improve connectivity, and stimulate economic growth across the country. He noted that the Big Push will prioritize key sectors including transportation, urban development, and regional access roads, with the ultimate goal of enhancing trade, reducing travel time, and creating jobs. Mr. Agboza also called for a bipartisan support, urging stakeholders and the opposition to view the initiative through the lens of national interest rather than political competition. The Big Push forms part of broader efforts by government to address Ghana's infrastructure deficit, which experts say remains a major constraint to economic expansion. However, critics have questioned the timing and financing of the initiative, raising concerns about sustainability and transparency. Despite this, the minister maintains that the long-term benefit will outweigh the cost, positioning Ghana for inclusive growth and development.
Of course, there are some contractors whose previous mindset about these things is such that they take the job, sleep on it, and then never care about the timelines. Well, there's a new sheriff in town. President Mahama is not going to tolerate any contractor who takes the job and doesn't work to timeline. We must work within the timelines. And we have another group of contractors who are so determined. You hear these contractors saying that they are ready to start working day and night. And there are some, the first contractor to finish work, I suspect, will be somewhere in Volta region. They work 3 shifts and they are determined to finish by the end of this year, almost 1 year ahead of schedule. The scope has not been changed, the rates in the BOQ hasn't changed. It is just the attitude of that contractor to prove a point that Big Push can be delivered on schedule and on time, and that's what we are doing.
pressure is mounting on government as the minority chief whip has declared that Ghana is at a breaking point, calling for urgent and decisive intervention from the administration of President John Dramani Mahama to address the worsening economic and social conditions.
The minority chief whip is sounding a strong alarm over the current state of the country, warning that rising economic hardship, cost of living pressures, and growing public frustration are pushing the nation into a critical stage. Speaking on the floor of Parliament and in public remarks, the minority chief whip insisted that immediate emergency level action is needed to stabilize the economy and restore public confidence in government institutions. He argued that the ordinary citizens are bearing the brunt of high prices, unemployment concerns, and strained public services, describing the situation as unsustainable if urgent steps are not taken. The call places direct pressure on the government led by President John Dramani Mahama to respond swiftly with remarks, but expectations are rising that the issue could dominate political discourse in the coming days. This latest political exchange is expected to intensify debate over the country's direction as calls for urgent economic action continue to grow from both citizens and the opposition.
Let me introduce you to Farm Global Company Limited. At Farm Global, we offer you a variety of groceries and provisions to choose from. Cosmetics, perfumes, bed sheets, undies, boxes, you can mention all. This is our perfume stand, and we have variety of perfumes you can choose from for yourself and your loved ones. We cover Latapa, fragrance notes, and quality perfumes that will last long on your body. On our cosmetic section, we have variety of lotions, creams, hair pomades that can keep you going. Let your feet do the talking and your hand do the showcasing. Your babies are not left out. We got you covered. At Farm Global, we make shopping a beautiful experience for you and your family. You can be at home, send your list and get it delivered for free. Yes, for free. We know you can pay for it, but we want to show appreciation. We bring everything to you at your doorstep. Locate Farm Global on the Nungwabuade Road, just opposite Redeemer Chemist. Call us on 0592 0999 52 or 050 384 3633. Farm Global, fast, reliable, and convenient.
Welcome back from that quick break. And if you are now joining us, this is the Mega News at 6 right here on MBN TV. And we are streaming live on YouTube and Facebook at MBN 360. Now in business, Ghana's economy has recorded a strong expansion of 7.7% according to new data from the Ghana Statistical Service, pointing to renewed momentum across the key sectors of the economy.
The latest economic update shows that the services sector remains the main engine of growth, contributing the largest share to overall performance. Key areas such as finance, ICT, health, and trade drove activity, reinforcing services as the backbone of Ghana's short-term economic recovery. The industry sector also posted robust gains, supported by strong performance in mining, manufacturing, and electricity, while agriculture recorded comparatively slower growth. Economists say the figures suggest a broad-based recovery, but also highlights the continued dominance of services in shaping Ghana's economic outlook. Government officials are expected to respond to the data in the coming days as debate continues over whether the growth is translating into improved living conditions for citizens.
Also in Ghana, It's a crucial economic crossroads as the government of President John Dramani Mahama considers a significant policy shift in its relationship with the International Monetary Fund (IMF) as part of broader efforts to reshape the country's economic recovery path.
The discussion comes as Ghana continues to operate under its current IMF-supported program, with authorities signaling a growing focus on balancing fiscal discipline with long-term growth priorities. President Mahama has previously indicated that, while Ghana remains committed to the program, his administration is also seeking adjustments that better align with national development goals, including job creation, industrial expansion, and easing cost of living pressures. Government sources say the potential shift is not about abandoning the IMF framework, but rather renegotiating or recalibrating aspects of it to reflect Ghana's evolving economic realities as recovery indicators improve. Economists, however, are divided. Some argue a policy shift could strengthen growth momentum, while others caution it may test investor confidence and fiscal stability. The development adds a new layer to Ghana's ongoing economic reset debate as the country continues efforts to consolidate recovery after years of financial pressure and restructuring.
In sports, Ghana's Black Princesses have reportedly refused to leave their training camp following their successful qualification for the 2026 FIFA U20 Women's World Cup, citing outstanding unpaid per diems.
The players are said to have remained in camp after returning from their qualification matches, demanding the settlement of allowances owed them from recent international fixtures, including their qualifying campaign against South African Uganda. Reports indicate that the squad fears delays in payment could worsen if they disperse, prompting their decision to stay together at the team hotel until the matter is resolved. Despite the financial concerns, the team's achievement remains significant, having secured Ghana's place at yet another FIFA U20 Women's World Cup tournament, continuing their impressive run on the global stage. The situation now places pressure on the relevant football authorities to engage the players and resolve the impasse as attention shifts from on-field success to off-field welfare concerns.
Entertainment is next. In entertainment, Ghana's music is set for a major international collaboration as celebrated singer Efriye Wuta teams up with global reggae legend Max Priest on a new single titled Summer Jam.
The track, which is expected to be released worldwide on May 31st, 2026, blends Afro soul, reggae, and island-inspired rhythms, bringing together Efriye Wuta's rich Ghanaian musical identity with Max Priest's signature smooth reggae sound. Producers say the song is designed as a feel-good anthem, tailored for beach vibes, road trips, and global summer playlists, with both artists contributing to a cross-culture sound aimed at international audience. The collaboration also highlights a growing musical bridge between Africa and Caribbean, reinforcing Efriye Wuta's reputation as one of Ghanaians' versatile vocalists and songwriters, while reaffirming Max Priest's status as one of reggae's most influential voices. Industry watchers say Summer Jam could become one of the standout Afro reggae release of the year when it drops later this month.
Also, the Nigerian entertainment industry is in mourning following the reported death of popular Nollywood actor and model Alex Ekubo, who has died at the age of 40.
Reports indicate that The award-winning actor passed away on Monday, May 11, 2026, in Lagos after a prolonged battle with cancer. According to the sources close to the family and colleagues in the film industry, Ekubo, known for his roles in romantic comedies and dramas, rose to prominence as one of the Nollywood's most recognizable faces, starring in several major productions over the past 2 decades and building a strong fan base across Africa and beyond. News of his passing has triggered an outpouring of grief on social media, with colleagues, actors, and fans paying tribute to his talent, charisma, and contribution to the growth of the Nigerian film industry. His death marks a significant loss to Nollywood, where he was widely regarded as one of the industry's leading contemporary stars, admired both for his screen presence and his influence in entertainment culture.
Now let's go for a break. When we come back, international news is next. Now, outside Ghana, U.S. President Donald Trump has arrived in Beijing, marking the start of a 2-day visit to China ahead of expected high-level discussions with the Chinese President Xi Jinping.
The visit, which has drawn global attention, is expected to focus on a range of sensitive issues including trade relations, regional security, and ongoing geopolitical tensions between Washington and Beijing. Trump was received upon arrival in Beijing, with both sides signaling cautious optimism ahead of the talks, which are being described by analysts as potentially significant for future U.S.-China relations. While details of the agenda remain tightly controlled, diplomatic observers say the meeting could test both leaders' ability to find common ground amid years of strained ties and economic rivalry between the two global powers. Security has been tightened in and around key government zones as the 2-day engagement gets underway, with the world closely watching for any breakthrough or setback from the discussion.
That's all for the mega news at 6. Let's take a look at the headlines.
Mahama returns from Nairobi after high-stakes Africa Forward Summit. In business, Ghana's economy grows by 7.7% as services sector takes the lead. And on the international front, Trump arrives in Beijing ahead of high-stakes talks with President Xi.
Thank you for watching. I am Farah Ayi.